Questions, I love them. What's the difference between the hip thrust and the glute bridge raise? The biggest difference between the hip thrust and the glute bridge raise, number one, is the terminology. Your hip thrust requires your back to be elevated as you thrust your hips into the air. Your glute bridge raise requires both your back and shoulders to be planted on the floor as you perform that glute bridge raise. The second biggest difference between your hip thrust and your glute bridge raise is the range of motion. As you can see, the hip thrust has a larger range of motion from your glute bridge raise, which has a shorter range of motion. Third, the glute bridge raise tends to be a tad bit more beginner friendly compared to the hip thrust, which requires a little bit more core stability and is a progressive movement from the glute bridge raise. I hope this has been helpful.